This video is really helpful. This show is really helpful if you haven't yet released your app onto the App Store, but you want to protect the logo before you actually go ahead and release it. So intent to use applications give you that opportunity. So you can actually secure the brand name or the logo or the mark before you put the mark out there to the world. First things first, what you want to do is you want to go to tsdr.uspto.gov. And then once you're here, you're going to click on Initial Application Forms. And then you're going to scroll down and you're going to click Start Your Application in TEAS. TEAS is the Trademark Electronic Application System. And when you scroll down, it's going to give you the option of selecting the TEAS standard application. Now, one thing I want to point out, if you're doing this video on your own, after you click the Start Your Application, it's going to take you into a login page. So you can't file anything unless you have a USPTO.gov account. So it's really important. You need to have a USPTO.gov account so that you can actually file an application. So once we're here, we're going to click on the TEAS standard. So yesterday, again, we did the TEAS Plus. And again, we saved $50. Today, we're going to spend $50 more and do the TEAS standard. So we're going to do it from the perspective of you as an individual. So I'm going to click no, that an attorney is not filing this application. So this is exactly how you would do it if you were trying to do it for your own mobile app. We're going to click continue. And this is where we input the trademark owner information. The trademark owner, in this case, I'm going to put in my name because I'm going to be the one that's going to be releasing the app. Owner of the mark is going to be me. Again, if you're a DBA, you can check the DBA box. But remember, make sure you're actually a DBA if you're going to be selecting the DBA box. All right, so now you have to put the entity type. So in this case, I'm an individual. So I'm going to click individual and it's going to ask me for my citizenship. So I'm going to go ahead and input my citizenship and then scroll down. And this is where I actually input my address information. So I'm going to go ahead and input my my mailing address. Now, remember, one thing I want to point out is this all becomes public. You might wonder, well, why am I putting this in? Well, this is my co-working space, so I'm not too concerned with it becoming public, but I get mail here. Then I'm going to put my zip code. Now, this box here, this is interesting. If you wanted to input your home address where you live, you can input it and you can put it in here. You just uncheck this box and input it. Now, the reason why they give you this option is because if you don't want that information to be public, then you're going to want to put it in here. All right. Otherwise, it's going to become public. And some people don't like to know what their home address is. So I'm going to uncheck this box. This address here works just fine. Now, you might wonder, well, why do they need your address? Well, eventually, assuming everything goes really smoothly and you get your trademark allowed, you're going to want to actually receive your certificate. So that's why. Now, for phone number, again, I like to leave it blank. You can input it. Same with fax. Remember, this is going to become public. My general preference is to keep my public information out of the public record, which is probably the same for most of you out there. So, all right, email, we're going to input our email. This is required. You have to put an email because there needs to be a mechanism for the trademark office and for the examiner to contact you. And also, they're going to be emailing you really important things like notifications, like office actions. They're going to be sending you with notifications regarding the status of your application. So when it publishes, when you get a notice of allowance, when you get an office action, these correspondences are going to be going to this email address. So that's why it's really important you provide that. Website address, this is optional, but if you have a website, you want to put it in the application, you can put it in here. Again, remember, this will become public. We're going to click continue. That's going to prompt us to say, hey, you didn't input your phone number. Again, my preference is to not input my phone number, so I'm going to not include it in the application. It's okay. I'm just going to click continue. It's not a problem. Now, here's where you actually input the mark information. So this is a design mark that we're going to file today, right? So this could be the design. It could be your icon even. It just depends what the mark is and how you use it. So we're going to click special form. Okay, this is how you do a design mark of applications. You click on special form, and here you're going to actually have an opportunity to upload the logo to the system. Now, I'm going to show you guys the logo that we developed and used yesterday. That will be the one that we use again today. So this is the one that Victoria came up with. Incidentally, also the icon that's going to be used for our mobile application. What I've done here is I've actually shown you guys the requirements for an image for a design to be accepted by the TEAS system. So if you'll note, I have here 250 by 94. So these are the maximum pixel counts at any one dimension. So no dimension can be less than 255 pixels, and no dimension can be greater than 944 pixels. So I like to have a nice large, crisp image. I think it just shows up better on the register. So what I do is I take an image and I try to expand it out to the maximum. Of course, keeping the aspect ratio because I don't want the mark to look funny. I just expand it out. If it's a width-wise design, I expand it out to 944 width-wise. If it's a height-wise, if it's taller than it is wide, then I expand it out height-wise to 944 pixels. Again, maintaining the aspect ratio because I want it to actually look good. All right, so let's go back to the application. We're going to go ahead and we're going to upload the file. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose the logo file and I'm going to click attach. It's really important you click attach. If you don't click attach, then it won't actually upload. Now you know it uploaded because you see it right here. And if I click on it, it'll actually open up a new tab and actually show me the logo and design as it's going to be uploaded to the TEAS system. So for literal element, you have to actually input any word or text that shows up in the design. So here I'm just going to type in the word that shows up, BRES. And again, we're not claiming color as a feature of the mark, but one thing I want to point out is that claiming color is a popular thing, and some companies and individuals do claim color. If color is in fact distinctive and provides source identifying qualities, then you can claim color as a feature of the mark. We're going to check this box here. We're not claiming color as a feature of the mark. And then we have to explain what the mark consists of. So in this case, I'm just going to type in, they add this language for you, the mark consists of, so you don't have to retype that in. So we're just going to say the word BRES surrounded by a star-shaped design. And they add it for you automatically. Cool. So we're going to click continue now that we've uploaded our actual mark. And then this is the part where the TEAS standard really distinguishes itself. This is where you get your pay for the extra 50 bucks that you're spending. In the TEAS standard, you have the option to enter free form text. That's a big deal. In the TEAS Plus, you do not have that option. You have to use the canned descriptions that are provided by the trademark office. So this is really the real value that you get from doing the TEAS standard application. So we're going to click entering free form text, and then we're going to click add goods /services. Again, this is a mobile application. So mobile applications are downloaded onto the phone. And so therefore, this would be class 9. We're going to input our own description of goods and services. So this is the part where I get to bring Victoria back on the show because she's going to help us out coming up with a description of the goods.
How about an application to edit photos?
Cool. So let's do downloadable software application, namely a mobile application for, you said editing images?
Yeah, perfect.
We can actually just be even tighter and just say downloadable mobile applications for editing images. There we go. This is the part where we have to select what type of application we're filing. In this case, we're doing a section 1B, which means we're doing an intent to use application. An intent to use application gives you the opportunity to protect the name before you start using it in commerce. So in this case, before we even release our mobile application, before you even write a line of code, before you even set up a database, you can already start protecting your mobile application in the sense that you can actually protect the name and protect the design and of the logo, of the icon. You can actually start now. And that's the beauty of the intent to use application. If we had done a section 1A application, which is an actual use application, you would actually have to have already had it out in the marketplace. So again, we're going to click the section 1B. It's going to bring up this prompt here. You have to check the box. And this is basically saying that you understand this is an intent to use application and that at some point in the future, not only do you have an intent to release it into the marketplace, but you also are going to have to submit what's called a statement of use that includes a specimen. That specimen is actual proof that you're using the mark in commerce. So in the case of a mobile application, it could be a screenshot of the Apple App Store, for example. So we're going to go ahead and click Assign Filing Basis. All right, and we know it's been assigned. I'll show you guys how you know. You know it's been assigned because you're going to see section 1B, Assigned Filing Basis, show up on the right. We're going to go ahead and scroll down and go to Continue. All right, this is where we actually input our correspondence information. I like to use docket numbers because actually I kind of have to just because we have so many cases on our docket. But if you have 1 or 2 cases, it doesn't matter as much. But if you're going to be filing several trademark applications, docket codes are really good because it helps you stay organized. It's a short code that helps you identify your mark. So in this case, I'm just doing my initials following by the letter T, following by the number of the application. Now for secondary email addresses, I encourage you to input anyone on your team. In this case, I'm super fortunate to have Victoria on my team. So I'm going to go ahead and put her email address in here. This will ensure that she's also going to get all notifications. Really, really good tool. If you need to add more people, it's really easy. Just add a semicolon, and then you can add additional email addresses. Okay, we're going to go ahead and click Continue. And this is the part where we actually have to sign the application. And again, the reason why you have to sign it is because you need to sign saying that you understand that this is an intent to use application and that you have a bona fide intent to actually use this trademark in commerce. If you're doing this on your own for the first time, I highly encourage you to read this carefully. You see this or here? This or implies that this is what's applying to us because this is an intent to use mark. Some people get mixed up with the first checkbox because they see this use in commerce and they say, oh, wait, I'm doing something wrong because I'm not using it in commerce. But look at this. There's an or here. It's very confusing. You're actually under this regime here. So you're actually filing the application based on an intent to use the mark in commerce. What you're saying here is that you believe that you have a right to use it and that you have a bona fide intention. These checkboxes here just flesh out these statements here. So this one basically says that as far as you know, no one else is using the mark in commerce. Basically, you have a right to file this application and actually use this mark. The third checkbox is saying that you have factual support for statements that you make in this application. And then the fourth is saying that you're signing under penalty of perjury. So willfully false statements could be subject to fine or imprisonment. That is the declaration that you're making for checkboxes. And then at the very bottom, you sign. Now, fortunately, the trademark office makes it really, really easy for you guys to sign. All you have to do is input your name within slashes. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, one thing I want to show you guys, the date signed is actually really easy. All you do is click in the checkbox. It automatically fills it in for you. Kind of a nice feature. And then position, I like to put owner if it's really just yours. Some people like to put owner, some people like to put holder, some people like to put owner/holder. It doesn't really matter. Now, in future videos, when we do it for companies, you're gonna be putting your actual position. So CEO, president, managing member, whatever your actual position is, you'll put it in here. That's if you're doing it for a company. Again, we're gonna put in our phone number here. This is the one place where you do not have a choice. You actually have to put in your phone number. All right, we're gonna click on input application here just to review the application before we file, okay? So again, this is a special for mark, also referred to as a design mark. And again, this is the description of the mark. So the work consists of the word V res surrounded by a star-shaped visual design. And again, check it out. Check out that pixel count right at 944. So that's the maximum size that can be in any one dimension. And that's the example right there. Again, owner of the mark, it's just gonna be me. I'm gonna be the one that's gonna put out the mobile app to the world. So therefore, I should be the appropriate owner of the mark. You'll note here, this is my email address and individual. You have to put in your citizenship. And again, this is the really cool bit. This is where you actually get to put in your own description of the goods and services. And again, this is because we did the TEAS standard. So we're paying $50 more, but we have this flexibility. So again, highly, highly encourage you guys to pay the extra $50 if you're already going through all the trouble. And now we're taking the first step and actually trying to protect it. So section 1B, again, this is the correspondence. And again, I have my email, Victoria's email, who's on my team. And again, $275 per class of goods. And I'm going to click back. So the application looks good to me. One thing I want to point out, if you guys found some mistake or error, it's really easy. You just click go back to modify. You can actually go back through every part of the application and it saves all your information. Really, really, really useful, guys. So application looks good to me. So we're going to go ahead now and just look at the mark one more time and make sure that we're happy with it. Again, one thing I want to remind you guys, there's no refunds, okay? So that's why you have to review everything really, really carefully. So the second thing you have to remember is that you have no right to confidentiality with respect to what you disclose in the application. If you had put your home address, that's going to be public. If you had put your phone number, that would have been public. So just keep that in mind. Third thing that they tell you is that you might get a misleading notice in the mail. This is very common. Our clients get this all the time. It's kind of annoying, but it's just the reality of the situation where private companies will send you fraudulent notices saying, hey, you have to pay this fee. You do not have to pay that fee. All right, so this application is ready to go. The one very last thing I'll say before I submit is, let's say that you're not 100% sure that you want to submit this application today. Not a problem. All you do is click Save Form, and it'll download what's called a .obj file. That .obj file can then be used to file the application at a future date. So like save it and then talk to Victoria about it. Hash out the exact designs. You might be like, nah, let's do this design with the square. That's cool. I re-upload the file and it has all the information stored. So all I have to do is make that one little change where I update the actual design that we're filing. Really good tool. Now we're gonna go ahead and click Pay Submit, and it's gonna take us to a payment page. So this is where we actually pay for the trademark application. This is where we pay the $275. It's going to prompt me to input my credit card information. Again, it shows us our docket number. Here's a 275. Again, remember, if you had multiple classes, it would be 275 per class. So if we had 2 classes, then it would be 550. So just keep that in mind. We're going to click credit card. You're going to input your credit card information here and all your mailing address and all that. And then you can click submit payment. That is how you file a TEAS standard application for your mobile app logo before you release your mobile app. And this is, again, a really, really powerful, useful tool. After I clicked pay submit, I would be taken to another page where I could actually download my application. And I would also get an email. That email would include the same link to my application. Now, the reason why I'm saying all this is because what you download is called a filing receipt. That filing receipt has a filing date and it also has a serial number. That serial number can be used at tsdr.uspto.gov. So if we go to tsdr.uspto.gov, you can take that serial number that you get from filing your application and input it here and click status. And it'll show you the complete status of your application. So you can always remain apprised as to what the status of your application is. Expect to wait at least 8 months for the entire process. So again, keep your filing receipt, keep track of it, keep your trademark serial number handy. That way you can always check the status of it. And remember, you're going to be getting notifications from the trademark office at your email addresses that you guys put. So thank you for watching. And if you guys have questions, send them to Victoria. She can be reached at victoria@adibiip.com, victoria@adibiip.com. And also we have a phone number that you guys can text. This is our community number. It's 415-943-5193, 415-943-5193. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you guys.